Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. And today's lesson is looking at Rick Remender and Wes Craig's Deadly Class, issue 50 of Fond Farewell, part 2. And yeah, we were on a hiatus from Deadly Class for about a month. Since the last issue came out was about 2 months ago. And this was long awaited because we're in the final story arc of the Deadly Class series. And a lot of us Deadly Class fans are excited to see how exactly the series is going to wrap up. And this issue basically shows us what direction the story is going to be going into its final few issues. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into today's story. Let's go. So this story basically started off with Saya basically enacting her revenge on Kenji and his bodyguards. Now we get a really cool action scene, an action sequence with Saya with her katana, basically cutting down a ton of Kenji's bodyguards, which are fellow kinsmen, basically. Family members, basically, of I think it's the Kuroki Sunday Kid or something like that. And yeah, eventually it's revealed to us that this is actually all basically in Saya's mind. She's basically relaying this information to Marcus, and after Marcus points out some of the flaws in her plan and her strategy to take out Kenji, he basically gives his plan, and it seems to be like a scene out of The Matrix, which is pretty funny. And Saya basically calls him like Neo and stuff like that. We get like a little bit of a reference. This story right here is taking place in the year 2001, so I think it's like 2 years after The Matrix that came out. So I really like those little references that kind of put the story in the period that Rick Remender basically is trying to tell the story in. And yeah, there's a lot of cool action panels in these scenes, action sequences, and eventually we get to see them basically talking to each other, Saya and Marcus. And Saya basically tells them that she has a plan, another plan, that might actually work. So they basically enact this plan in the next few pages, and we get to see that Marcus basically dresses up as somebody else. I'm not sure if he's supposed to be dressed up as a girl or a dude, but he has like blonde, like brown hair, light brown hair, and he manages to smuggle in like a bomb to basically get all of Kenji's bodyguards to freak out and try to run for the exit. So he gets all of them to be in one area, and this is where Saya basically is waiting for them. And Marcus basically shuts off the lights, and Saya goes in and starts killing all of Kenji's bodyguards. After they're basically done with this, they head to where Kenji's supposed to be, and they use an explosive to basically open up the doorway and open up the door. And they basically go in with katana, with Saya with her katana, not her main one, because that one I believe is with Kenji, who had taken it from her in one of the previous story arcs before the time skip and before she lost her hand. And Marcus basically just uses guns as usual. And we get a final action sequence in this issue, and we get to see Saya basically decapitate and cut down a lot of her fellow Kuroki members, the Kuroki Syndicate members. And eventually she's able to manage to get her sword back from Kenji's display where he has it, for show, I guess. And this part is revealed to us that Marcus was actually hired by Kenji, which we had gotten that information in the last issue, I believe. But this is where we get to learn more about it, and we get to see that Marcus isn't going to kill Saya, but instead gives her option in going after revenge still and letting that poison her heart and basically taking over the Kuroki Syndicate after she kills her brother Kenji, or she can go with him to basically to live on a beach. Basically, just I guess Marcus throughout these years has been like killing people for money or something like that. So he has a lot of money. Apparently, he has money put away. So they basically go live a normal life. So he basically leaves the room and gives Saya the option to make her own decision on what she wants her future to be. And when Marcus is basically outside the door and basically is, taking a smoke, he eventually goes back into where Saya was supposed to be and sees that Kenji's head has been decapitated. So she basically killed her older brother and left a note for Marcus, and we don't get to see what the note said, but this is where we get to see that whatever it was puts Marcus into like a type of depression like state, which makes him like really sad. And the issue ends with him basically saying that he wanted to save Saya, but more than anything, he feels like he wanted her to save him, basically, kind of like showing that he feels like he has lost himself in all of this. Even all these years after King's Dominion, he's still stuck living this type of like assassin lifestyle, and maybe there is no escape, for someone like him. And I thought that was a really cool way to end the issue. And yeah, that was Rick Remender and Wes Craig's Deadly Class issue 50 of Fallen Farewell Part 2. Overall, very solid issue. I really enjoyed this the most out of the last few issues that have to do with the time skip. I thought this one had the best amount of action. It had a very good progression for the plot, and it seems like Saya's character is basically going the direction of staying as an assassin and leading the Kuroki Syndicate, which is kind of like what I was expecting to happen when Marcus gave that choice. It seems like that would make the most interesting plot development. So we'll see how the series ends, and if Saya will choose to like just leave that all behind some way, but I doubt it. I think this is kind of like where her character is going. The cover for the next issue, which we had gotten spoiled for like a few months, I think like a month or two, is Maria. So Maria should be alive after all. So I'm a little iffy on that. We'll see if there's an explanation on what happened between her, Marcus, and Stefano. But yeah, so me personally, I thought it's really interesting that what happened in this issue, but also Maria being back alive, even though I don't really like it. We'll see how it plays out in the next issue, and we'll see if Marcus is going to die at the end of the series. I really think that Marcus might die at the end of the series, and that he might just live an assassin life until he's eventually killed in the line of battle, basically, doing a mission or something, doing a mission like a hit job or something. And yeah, like I said, excited to see Maria. We'll see how the relationship plays out in the next issue. And hopefully the series is going off in a good direction to end off. I haven't seen any news on which issue is supposed to be the final issue of the series, but I'm guessing it's going to last for at least 6 to 8 issues, I would think. It would amaze me if we're going 10 to 12 issues for this final story arc, but it is possible. But I'm thinking that they're going to end it in one trade, so I'm guessing it's going to be 6 parts, and we're already on part 2. So I'm guessing about 4 more issues until the end, and this all wraps up the Deadly Class series, and yeah. But yeah, like I said, overall, very good issue. I enjoyed Marcus' character, enjoyed Saya's character, and I enjoyed the way they strategized together, and the option that Marcus gave at the end, and Marcus's development at the end, showing that he's still growing as a character, but at the same time he's still having his own battles. I thought that was really interesting, and hopefully we're gonna see more of this in the next few issues as they're coming out. But that's gonna be all, guys. If you're new to the channel, I review Deadly Class every issue that comes out. I have covered almost every volume. I believe I have covered every volume of the Deadly Class series on the channel. We're almost done with the entire series. It's probably in my top 3 comic books I've ever read. So I do recommend you go check them out, those videos that are going over the previous volumes, and just go back and just relive the entire Deadly Class series with my series review playlist, basically, which will be at the end card for this video. I also do comic book reviews, but mostly volume/trade paperback reviews is like the main thing on this channel. But I'm also doing versus battles and power scale / how strong is videos on comic book characters as well on the channel. But that's gonna be all, guys. Until the next video, God bless you. Until next lesson, keep on reading those comments.